Today we are going to get started on our English lesson that we had started yesterday. Does anybody remember what book we read yesterday? That's right, Where the Wild Things Are, with the story and pictures by Maurice Sendak. Now we read through this story and we found out a lot about our main character named Max. That's correct. Now Max, what was he doing in the beginning of that story? That is right, he was causing trouble, he was causing mischief. He was dressed in his monster costume and was running all around the house. Was his mom happy or sad? She wasn't super happy, right? She was a little bit annoyed, maybe frustrated. And so she told Max to go to his room. And do you remember what Max said? Let's go back in the story and see. Max, when he was told to go to his room, he told his mom, "I'll eat you up." And then he ended up going to bed without supper. Now what happened to Max's room after he went there without supper? A forest grew, that's right. Do we actually think a forest grew in Max's bedroom? No, you're right. He probably imagined it. That's when we think about something with our brains and we can see it in our minds. Today, we're going to use our imagination to create our own wild place to go. Now, yesterday we read how Max's wild place was a forest, and then he went on a private boat, and he sailed all the way to meet the what? The wild things. He went where the wild things are. So today, I want to see where your wild place is. First, we are going to think about what kinds of wild adventures or imaginative places we could create. What's a place that you might create for you? Yes? A forest. That's a great one. We could create a forest like Max did. Yes, over here? Under the sea. We can live under the sea, maybe in a boat or in a submarine. What's somewhere else we could create? We could create a land in the clouds where we could fly. That's right. Well, we have a lot of great places that we can create in order to let our imaginations fly. So, we are going to start. I'm going to have everyone take their sheet of paper that I've placed on your desk. You are going to sketch me out a story or a picture of where your wild place is. What does it mean when we sketch? That's right, it's quick and it's simple. It doesn't have to have a lot of detail because we're just figuring it out. So, for my first sketch, I drew myself on a boat. My wild place is to live on a boat in the ocean with all the stormy seas and the waves that crash. And that's my sketch. I'm going to give you a few minutes to draw your sketches of where you would like your wild place to be. Perfect. I'm so glad we've drawn our sketches. Now to go along with what we've drawn, we are going to end up creating a story quilt. Does anybody know what a story quilt might be? Kind of. Yes, it could be a bunch of stories put together. That's kind of what our story quilt is going to look like. We are each going to create a final product story square that shows a picture of where our wild place is. Once we're done with those squares, we are going to connect them all by strings and ribbon to create a big story quilt. Along with our quilt, we have to know what's going on in our story squares. To do so, we are going to fill out our writing of where in my wild place and what your wild place looks like. I have started your writing for you by saying, in my wild place, I, and then you're going to continue writing on to describe where your wild place is, who's in your wild place, and some things that might happen in your wild place. I'm I'm gonna walk you through what I wrote for my story. So in my wild place, I live on a boat. And where's my boat? My boat is on the sea. Now we're going to use some words to walk us through our story. We're going to use some transition words. Does anybody remember a transition word? That's right, next is a transition word. Does anybody else have one? Yes, finally is a transition word as well. What's the first transition word? That's right, I gave it to you, it's first. So we're going to start with first. And in my story, first, I get on my boat and I sail out to sea. Does anybody know what the word sail means? That's right, that's when a ship leaves the land and they are riding out to sea, they are sailing. What's that transition word after first? That's right, next. Next, in my story, the waves in the ocean start to get bigger. What do you think happens when waves get bigger in the ocean? Oh, there might be more water. Yes, or maybe a storm is coming. Is that maybe predicting what's going to happen in my story? Are you making a knowledged guess of what could happen? That's right. So after next, we use our transition word, then. So then in my story, the clouds get bigger and darker. When clouds get bigger and darker, what do you think's happening? That's right, a storm is probably coming. Have you experienced a storm? Have you seen a storm come around? Yeah. And so now, what do we think's gonna happen at the end of my story? You think I'm gonna go home? Maybe I decide I have enough of the rain and I'm gonna go back. Do you think it's going to rain? It could rain. Well, let's see what happens. To end our story, we use what transition word? Yes, we use finally. So finally, it starts to rain. Oh no, it starts to rain. What do you think I'm going to do? Oh, I could go inside the boat. Maybe I could keep sailing to get out of the rain. Or I could go home. I think I'm gonna go home. So it starts to rain and I send my boat back home. Now friends, what is the last thing we put at the end of our sentences? That's right, we put a period, our punctuation. Is it always a period? No, sometimes we use what at the end of our questions? A question mark, that's right. What happens if we're really excited? We can use an exclamation point. That's right. So I'm going to give you your sheets of paper that have your prompt in my wild place I, and you are going to fill out where your wild place is, who's at your wild place, and take us through the events using our transition words. We're gonna do this for the rest of class while we finish sketching our pictures as well, and then tomorrow we are going to edit and make sure our stories make sense, we use the right punctuation, and our sketches look nice. And then that final day we are going to finalize our end product, and we are going to put them all together to make a big story quilt, of all of the wild places we've been to. I want you all to be seated at your desk. We're going to get out our crayons, get out our coloring materials, and you can start on your project. You will have 15 minutes to finish your project, and then we will have 10 extra minutes to make sure we write down where our wild place is, who is with us, and all of the events that happen with our transition words. If you have any questions, raise your hand and I will come answer those that I can. Thank you so much.